Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Marketer's Blueprint podcast. I am your host, Nathan Gibson. Here along with me is the lovely Gabe Arnold. How are you doing today, Gabe?
I'm doing great. I was super sick the last week or so, but I'm back to healthy and my voice is almost back to normal. So I'm ready to dive in today.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I got sick about a week ago, too. Seems like it's running around everywhere, but I'm glad to hear that you're feeling a little bit better. We have a really, really exciting episode in store for you guys today. So we will just really dive right in. And I'm actually going to start off with a question for you today, Gabe. So, without knowing what you know now, with your massive experience as an entrepreneur, what would you say when you started off or in your first few years of your entrepreneur journey, what was more important to you or what was more prevalent on your mind? Consistent brand engagement or sales?
Sales without question.
Sales without question. And that's the answer for everybody, right? The main goal of running a business is to get sales, get it behind, get it to people. But what people aren't realizing is how important consistent engagement with the brand is compared to just driving sales. Because if you have consistent brand engagement, it will lead to sales, right? In your experience?
Yeah, and the caveat that most people don't pay attention to and why sales in the early stages, the right answer, you got to generate revenue. But what most people don't understand about their startup phase, and I wouldn't have known this until looking backwards, is that by being active in sales outreach, you are actually accomplishing brand growth. But what happens is when you start, you are a huge part of our brand, marketing and brand recognition of everything you do every day, Nathan, because you reach out to new people and you let them know about BME. That's branding, that's marketing. What happens for a lot of entrepreneurs is that early on, we got to generate sales, we got to drive revenue, we're doing everything we can, so we're doing a bunch of outreach, we're posting, we're doing our sales activity, we're achieving some brand recognition and stability. But then we sell customers as we should, and then we get busy with delivering results as we should, and then all of a sudden our brand suffers even though we didn't realize we were branding unintentionally and organically in the beginning.
It makes total sense. You kind of get lost in the hustle and bustle of the new business, and even years into entrepreneurship, like it's still hard to focus on those sorts of things because you get so concentrated on making it work and getting those sales. So
Yep.
a question a lot of people are starting to ask as consistent brand engagement becomes more prevalent over sales is, how do I motivate customers to consistently engage with my brand? It's honestly one of the most important questions a business owner can ask when thinking about consistent brand engagement. In my experience, as you said, I speak to tons of different entrepreneurs and business owners every day. And the vast majority of them are focused on securing a sale and moving people along the process without thinking about the nurturing, retaining, and satisfying those new sales. So what in your experience has been the focus on nurturing and retaining customers?
Yeah, so kind of on two sides of that, you asked about how to keep people engaged with your brand. That could be pre-sale or post-sale, and then obviously nurturing and retaining people. There's an effective marketing strategy that actually solves both sides of the equation, your prospects and your active clients. And that's when you, in your emails, in your social media, in what you're posting on your site, like the channels, wherever you're active right now, is to continue to put in front of your current customers and your prospects, here's how our solution provides value and solves a problem. So if I think about, we work with a lot of wellness companies, we've worked in the construction space, we've worked, with attorneys. Our process allows us to serve so many different spaces, which is what I love because it's principle based in it. We knock it out of the park for virtually any company in any industry, which is awesome. Let's say that you are a supplement company and you're selling something that improves your memory. Like I was talking to a friend the other day and they're like, man, I've heard there's great supplements for memory improvement. Like I've just been through a little bit of a brain fog period. A brand that could get her attention, my friends, would be somebody that posts videos and stories and stuff about this supplement helps me do this, but doing it through stories. When I would make up this post, like one of our new customers, became a part of our community and bought our memory supplement. And they reported back a week later that they started remembering things easier. They didn't have to write everything down, and we're so excited that their life changed. Now, that serves the purpose of attracting a new prospect and going, oh, I've been thinking about that. And you advertise effectively, you brand, you stay in front of the prospect audience. But if you're also posting that out in an email to your customer list, and of course you're going to have customers following your social and your channels as well, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I bought that. It's sitting right here. I need to use it. And so
Right.
full usage, utilization, consumption of services and products in your business is a key part of retention, because all of us have probably signed up for that subscription to something or bought that thing, and it keeps coming every month, or we keep seeing the billing because it's an electronic thing. And if we're not getting value and utilizing it, it's creating negative brand equity. So like,
Right.
I used to have auto ship razors to shave my beautiful hair.
Beautiful.
And they came every 60 days because that's what they recommended. But then I had like 3 or 4 sitting in my closet because I don't wear them out as fast as I'm supposed to. So then I slowed it down to like 3 months or 4 months.
Right.
I still wasn't actually getting full utilization. So that led me to cancel my subscription. And I ended up switching companies that I used because they hadn't achieved the right match for me. Now, other people, maybe they're getting a better match.
Sure. People might be shaving their head every day. You don't know, right?
Exactly. And so they unintentionally created negative brand equity because I wasn't getting full
It's interesting.
utilization, and I was having like this negative drain of like, I mean, it was like $40 a month, but I was like spending
It adds
money
up, yeah.
without value, and that's where eventually that catches up with us. So the key in that retention is it not only attracts new customers, but it's continually telling the stories you deal with every day. All of us as business owners make a phone call and solve a problem for a customer, or send an email to a customer that bought a product and do that. It's just taking that content and talking about the win or the success, or it's just talking about the support we provide our customers.
Absolutely.
It keeps telling the story of what it's like to work with our company.
Yeah, and that's a huge focus in my role at BME is nurturing. We say that word all the time at BME, nurture, nurture, nurture. And it's all about just checking in with people before or after they buy from you. You made a good point on that too, is there's different along the sales journey. And if you have the right intention of just like, I care about what's going on, how have things been going? Do you have any questions? All the gold is in nurturing, especially for client-focused businesses, right? Like product-focused businesses, of course, can benefit from that. Any business can benefit from nurturing, in my opinion and experience. Mm-hmm. But especially client-focused business where you're building long-term relationships with people, just checking in on them and nurturing those people along the process will help them connect with you better. And as we know, relationships drive everything. It's our first guiding principle at BME is relationships first. So when you put those relationships first and actually care about checking in with people, they're going to move along the process faster, at least in my experience.
I mean, we have so many examples, even just this year with, we made some big upgrades and optimizations to our sales department. We had a client join this week that you've talked to over the last 4 months, if I remember correctly. And
actually, it's been 6. I first talked to her in February.
Yeah, so you talked to her in February. You're like, I'm here to help and serve. Here's solutions we have. I ended up having a phone call at some point. She's like, sounds great, but I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. I'm like, great, no problem. Nathan's going to check back in with you. We're here when you need us. And just that long view of let's invest in the relationship. Now what's amazing is we're going to take a client that's, just hovering below the 7-figure mark in their e-commerce business, and we're going to help them scale 20% a year. That's the target we typically are achieving with clients. So in a matter of a handful of years, they're going to double their business.
Yeah.
Because we were just willing to play the long game, follow up, nurture them, answer questions, meet needs on calls, and now they trust us as they should because we've proven that we'll keep showing up. And
exactly.
That's whether you, like you said, Nathan, you have a client business where it's client focused, it's client services. The same thing is true with product. You keep showing up in the right way, in the feed, in emails. When somebody buys a one-off product, you nurture them and get them to buy more. If you keep showing up, you beat all your competitors. It's not that complex. It's simple. I didn't say it was easy, but it is simple.
Yeah, at its core, it is simple. It's just about doing the right thing and caring. What it boils down to is people respond the best when you just seem like a everyday person. Like, I care what you got going on. And that is how I've helped our sales department grow so much, is just my kind and friendly approach. The client that you just talked about, I did an orientation with her earlier this week, and she said, I appreciate the consistent follow-up and not the pushy follow-up, right? Yeah. So it's really important. But we will keep it moving right along. So in today's edition, we have some really fun things going on. So we're going to be sharing some tools that you can use to motivate your customers. So we're talking about all the things that you can do, but there are some tools and methods that we've used and we've seen over the years that can help you build a strong and, most importantly, loyal following of your brand. You want people to retain to your business. That's kind of what our topic was. So we're going to do something a little fun. So I have a list of some examples that we have either done over the years or seen. And Gabe, I'm going to just run the method of retention by you and give me either a client experience with us that you've had or where you've seen this used before. Just your quick first thought on it. Sound good?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, loyalty cards.
So loyalty cards can definitely work well. I've seen them used really effectively with coffee shops that we've marketed in years past.
Exactly.
They're great there. Digital loyalty cards can be structured really well as well. I have one with REI, a camping store that I buy online more than I do in person. But yeah, those are effective as long as they're positioned well. You've done your market research, you know how to do them. But yeah, loyalty cards are super useful for that kind of thing.
Yeah, love a good loyalty program. One crazy example that I have is I remember from it didn't affect me, it affected my parents. My dentist had one when I was growing up. And when you stamped a punch in like 5 or 6 of them, you got, because every time you go to a dentist as a kid, right, you get a little toy. At least at a good dentist, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You get a little toy.
Yeah.
Once you punch that card 5 or 6 times, you get a toy from the big chest. And little did I know that was a little marketing tactic for little Nathan. And I remember all these years later because I was like, oh my gosh, it made me a little excited to go to the dentist, which is usually not something that people want to do.
I was just going to say, that's brilliant because if you can remove the resistance to the end user,
exactly,
then the customer, your parent is the customer, they pay the bill, but they have to get the end user to agree to do the process. And so if you're motivated and excited to go there, it makes their life easier. And of course, they're going to choose that dentist over somebody that doesn't do that.
Exactly. It makes the parents happy and the kids. It's a 2-for-1 combo. Next one is a big one for us, survey.
Yeah, so surveying is huge with retention, customer loyalty, and growing your business because for as many people as we talk to, every month, every year here at BME when we're bringing in new clients as partners, most folks have not done a survey at all, which is crazy, which will explain why I think that's crazy. But even the folks that have done it haven't done it in a while. And how are you going to know what to deliver next to your customers? How are you going to know if there's any friction points in your process? How are you going to know if your product is working amazingly and you have all these testimonials you could use, or if there's deficiencies in it if you don't reach out and have the conversation? It would be like living with your significant other, but saying, I'm not going to talk to them for 6 months. We'll do everything else. Like we'll cook, we'll clean, we'll do whatever, but absolutely no communication. You're
Absolutely
not going to be in that relationship very long.
Yeah.
That's going to end badly. But somehow, as business owners, we forget, like, we're not dealing with a name on a sheet. We're not dealing with an email on a phone, or we're not dealing with some credit card. We're dealing with a person.
Exactly.
Taking time, their valuable time that they'll get back, their money that they've worked hard for, investing in what we have, and we need to have that open communication. So a survey allows us to uncover behaviorally where they're at, which is super key, which is why a key part of all the surveying we do is psychographic behavioral. And of course, demographically, like if I find out I have a concentration of more customers in Chicago than I do in Cleveland, then I should shift marketing there and get more customers. There's a reason, right? So there's so much value in surveying. It's a key part of what we do for our agency clients, and it makes a huge difference because once we know what's important to them, what they're valuing, what they're saying, ad copy, creative targeting, saying we can serve you, we're the right provider for you, is really much more effective. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Surveys are absolutely great for getting candid and real-time feedback from your current and existing customers, and it helps you learn more about them, which is absolutely crucial. The more you know about your target audience, the better you can sell and serve to them. So it plays into every part of the process. The next one is a really good one too, progress bars, showing customers how close they are to achieving a goal.
Yeah, my favorite one is Domino's, because my
Yes.
son loves Domino's and I order
Yep.
pizza, and they even have like delivery insurance, which is wild.
That's crazy.
But it sets the expectation. A progress bar, a tracker, is an expectation manager.
Yeah.
When I put it in there, I know it says it'll be delivered between 5 and 5:30. It shows me where it's at, and then I can anticipate delivery. And so a progress bar can be a visual thing in software. It can also be an email series you send that you you can time out to how reality is happening in delivery, or you can manually, I sent email 1, we're at 20%, I sent email 2, we're at 40%. Like,
Yep.
you can progress that way. But yeah, that's a great way to manage expectations, and expectation management is a crucial part of
Absolutely.
customer retention. If they don't know what to expect, then they make assumptions, or if you set an expectation you can't deliver on, then they're disappointed and they're not going to keep buying from you.
So I have a great personal example with progress bars in my hobby, video games. I play an MMO which has a lot of achievements. The game cleverly puts little bars that show you how close you are to getting those achievements. And that just gets me going. And it does with everybody else. That translates into every other part of life. Is like, I'll hop on the game, I'll be like, ooh, I just need a little bit more. It incentivizes me to play the game. And then when I get that one, on to the next, right? Like, it goes super fast. So progress bars are a great way of, like you said, expectation management and keeping people excited to achieve a goal or get to the next step, do the next quest. In my experience, I absolutely love progress bars.
Yeah, it's great because it really speaks to customer journey, because if you can say, here's where you are, and if you put in the time and effort, here's where you're going to get.
Yep.
And like you said, achievement, like we're all business owners, entrepreneurs are definitely motivated by achievement X things. And as our customers, I play Candy Crush off and on. And there's always something
the classic.
Yeah, I'm always like, it's my favorite mindless, relaxing game. But even when I'm mindlessly relaxing, I'm like, oh, I just have to collect 10 more blue candies and I get my little reward.
And you just got to do it, right?
It drives engagement for sure. And then when you have mind share, you have really effective branding going on.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. I love a good progress bar. The next one is product bundles.
Yeah, so what's really key to pay attention to here is you really need to know the space you're in. In product, as long as you are sophisticated and aware, you can do discounts on products and still protect margins, and it can be a part of your whole sales and marketing process. So that's one place where discounting can be effective. However, as you move up into higher end, high ticket products, the way to incentivize action to get people to move and buy sooner and be ready is you don't want to damage your brand by saying, oh, we'll just discount it, because if you discount all the time, then you can be doing brand damage if you don't have a clear strategy. But if I say, hey, Nathan, if you buy this new gaming PC today, you're going to get this monitor thrown in for free. That's a value add.
I'd be game. I would be game. You got me.
Instead of, if I say, here, Nathan, here's this new gaming PC, but it's $300 off, part of your psychology is going to go,
what's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? Or is it a model? Like, you can do brand damage if you're not really strategic in positioning discounts.
Absolutely. That's super smart, too, because you see a lot of businesses doing that these days, especially businesses that have started up recently. Like I'll be scrolling on TikTok and I'll see, you mentioned razors earlier. A lot of those types of companies do bundles as well, because they can do it easily and it won't affect their margins too much because of the cost of the products. But they can include a little thing of shaving cream or a loofah or something and bundle that together, so you feel like you're getting a really good value. And it helps push the needle along in the sales process, because if you feel like you're getting a better value but not doing the brand damage, like you said, of just discounting it and making you think it might be a cheaper product, they're more likely to buy because they feel like it's a worthwhile investment for their money, even at the smallest level, even if it's a $10 bundle. So love those. The next one is really important too in the modern digital age, and that's personalized recommendations. I know I'm not the only one that thinks when I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I swear to God, it's reading my mind, because I just thought that I needed a new controller or something, and suddenly I'm getting an ad for a controller. It's like, where's the Neuralink? Because I don't know, but it's actually very clever, like tracking of what you do on your devices and things like that. So what's been your experience with personalized recommendations?
Yeah, I don't have any of the paranoia or fear that I hear people talking about. Yes, of course.
I was more joking.
Yeah, no, I know, but people talk about that a lot.
It is serious, yeah.
We're all aware at some level some platforms have been recording or tracking things at some level, but there's a lot less of that anymore, and a lot of that is fictitious.
Right.
It's very easy for large platforms that are data companies, that's what any large platform ends up being, to collect, like, we have cookies and tracking across all different sites and our platform. I noticed Nathan's checking out these gaming things. I noticed he was looking at this console, whatever. So they're going to be automatically feeding you ads for a new controller for your Xbox or whatever you're playing on. Mm-hmm. What happens is that two things are happening. One is the recency effect is something that is, as soon as you think about buying or buy something, you see more of it because it's in your conscious awareness. That's more of what is going on than any platform listening to you, or it's a big piece of it. In addition, if I can track like, oh, you watch these types of social media videos like about gamers playing, I saw you were checking out, you clicked through this ad that took you out to look at this, we're going to collect and build this profile. And that's how ads are customized to us. And that's one level. What's a deeper level, and as businesses grow, especially in the e-commerce space, is to start to categorize purchases by potential buyer. So
Yeah.
Amazon is the king of this, but Amazon knows, like, I buy hydrogen peroxide like every month or so to put in my cold plunge. And so they know they will start to do, but instead of just saying, oh, Gabe wants medical equipment, they go, oh, Gabe also bought, something for his pool, or they're going to start to aggregate similar behavior things. And then when I pop on, a couple things happen. One, they're like, do you need to reorder more, hydrogen peroxide? They might start suggesting other, like, outdoor, like, swimming gear, like things like that. Personalized recommendations can be huge, and you don't have to be Amazon to do them in e-commerce. You just need to start with what we talked about earlier. Survey your customers, understand who they are, then start to categorize purchases around your ideal customer avatar. And then when you're selling your memory supplement, we'll go back to that example. If you know that somebody's buying a memory supplement, then they may also want an energy supplement. Right. And you can start to make suggestions around similar buying behavior. So that's really about data analysis, and we have an amazing data scientist on our team that helps us do that and our clients do that. And also, there's platforms and ways to even just do a beginning kind of foundational analysis of what all your customers have bought, and then you can make some educated assumptions and start to suggest things that will likely be relevant. And that's super helpful because it'll drive more buying behavior because you're solving the next problem, or you're adding in the next thing. Like, oh yeah, I need a controller, but I need some other thing for my gaming platform. I'm not a gamer, but you are. So
no, but it makes total sense because, like, based on past buying habits, you can assume where people will go next or what they might need next. And so that's why it really does harken super hard back to surveying and understand your customers' psychographics and your buying behavior, which is something we do really well as a team. We do deep marketing research with every single client that we work with, and it really helps push the needle on getting the client's customers where they want them to be. Yeah. So we'll finish out with another really big one on these different tools that you can use, and that's Milestone rewards. So discounts, free products, exclusive access, and things like that. What are your thoughts on Milestone rewards?
Yeah, that ties into what we were talking about earlier about progress bars and loyalty cards. It's a way to gamify the experience. And so we'll go back to Candy Crush. When I reached level 1000, I got this bundle of extra upgrades, and same thing when I got to level 2000, and so it rewards me for my time investment for the game.
Exactly.
When we're looking at a business, we can do very simple milestones without having all this complex tracking. When you're either selling product or service, you can do things like, congratulations, you got your 6, auto ship of this supplement, and here's a little free bonus. Or congratulations, like, you've been with our service for a year now, and so you've reached this milestone, which means we're going to give you this gift, or you have this extra service hours, or things like that. You don't have to overthink it, but you can set something up simple that's easy to track, you can manage operationally, and then you can talk about it early on and say, just so you know, heads up, when you reach your year mark, we're going to have something special for you. Or you can tell them exactly what it is. But yeah, those are milestones that are a great way to keep people motivated and focused on the problem they were trying to solve when they bought your product, or the problem they were trying to solve when they invested in your service.
Yeah, and I like that you kind of harken back to progress bars, because progress bars often lead up to milestone rewards. You take a certain path and keep a firm eye on how your progress has been with a rewards program or something, and you finally build it up to where you get that milestone reward, and you get that reward for your time, which, as you said with Candy Crush, I know you're secretly a little gamer too, Gabe, somewhere in there. So anyway, milestone rewards are a huge way to give people a reward that they deserve for engaging with your brand. And that was our whole topic, is driving brand engagement. So a couple of them we went over that are important is surveys, progress bars, milestone rewards, and personalized recommendation. Guys, if there's any that we're missing, feel free to drop a comment and let us know, because there's tons of these different ways that you can go about driving brand engagement. So if there's something we missed, let's chat about it. Drop a comment and we'll discuss it. But we'll move on from that to my favorite part of the episode, our wins. We actually have a lot of really cool wins going on. The first one is one of our clients, Amazing Botanicals, successfully created their landing page funnel, which has been a work in progress for us for a while now. And we've helped them complete their landing page, and a lot of marketing strategy went into it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know you probably checked it out already.
Yeah, I love what we're doing with that company, because they came to us, and this is a common area where we serve clients. They came to us. They offer some alternative health supplements that are really powerful and helpful, but the major ad platforms, the major social media have some pretty tight requirements and restrictions around, just like Google Ads, all the advertising platforms. And so we are, without question, allowed to market this company and bring people in, but there's certain pieces of what they offer that we can't say on the front side.
Right.
And so what I love about this win is we now have something out there where our client is able to start those relationships, give value, get engagement, and then as they build that relationship, they then have direct access to sell what they're selling and offer solutions that are helping tens of thousands of people every year get away from some really harmful other substances. We'll kind of leave it there, but it's awesome to see that go live, because this client unfortunately had challenges with past agencies and employees that didn't understand the complexity of achieving a goal on all the major platforms without breaking standards and policy, and that takes sophistication, and the team really knocked it out on that one.
Yeah, and it's so important to have a really well put together landing page. It was one of the biggest education points in my journey with marketing strategy, is making a landing page really just appeal to the person that's there. You want to have your CTA above the fold, and a lot of other things go into it. Matching colors, all things that our team is absolutely killer at doing. So I was super excited to see that, and it's coming to fruition, and I know it's going to drive traffic for them. Another one I'd like to just touch on briefly before we wrap up is what we just talked about with Radical Roots. This is a client that I have spoken to for basically half a year. We just checked in with her all the time, once every couple of weeks, shoot her an email, answer questions. And like I said, we first talked to her months and months and months ago. She was interested, she liked what we had to say, and then she just had a lot of life stuff going on. I believe it was her child was out of school, and so she was busy being a mom. Life happens, life doesn't stop for being an entrepreneur. Gabe, I'm sure you know that. As a father and as a full-time family man, it's a balance. So that just goes to show you that just caring about people, nurturing and retaining is really important. So what are your thoughts with that before we wrap up today's episode?
Yeah, one of the key things that is definitely a big differentiator of how we choose to partner with our clients is, of course, without question, we have world-class experts in our marketing department, our copy, our strategy. We have amazing folks on the technology team. We have incredible folks that are buying media, doing paid traffic, all of that.
Yeah.
They're super skilled in what they do. What is a big differentiator is we approach every partnership with a client of asking, of course, what marketing and technology needs do you have? But how can we show up and give you leadership support? Because what is easy to overlook in the day-to-day of being an entrepreneur is that you have your vision, you have your dream, you have these customers and clients you want to serve, you have the product you want to get out there, but you don't always have those other leaders around you to support you and bring clarity, to help you stay focused, to help you avoid problems. And what I love about Radical Roots is when they came on, they realized there's so much opportunity in front of them, but they needed the support to execute and capitalize on that. And now they've made a wise investment. Our team's going to guide them through the process of making sure that they have all the support they need, and we're going to just, in a really healthy way, give a little bit of that accountability, give some support and direction, and say, let's stay focused here and carry it all the way through. Because most entrepreneurs there's this test called the Colby Index that I've taken a couple times, and there's one kind of criteria that says, how are you a quick start? And it's a grade of 1 to 10, and most entrepreneurs are 8, 9, 10 on a quick start, which means as entrepreneurs we're so good at seeing the possibility, the vision, and jumping into starting something, but then almost all entrepreneurs I've ever met and business owners need support to finish it out, build the processes, refine it. We would never have BME the way we have today if I didn't have amazing team members around me, because I can see the vision, I can start things, I can build frameworks, but when it comes to quality execution and full delivery all the way, I always need support there. And so I'm so excited for that partnership because there's massive potential. There's so many people that Entrepreneur is going to be able to help. And now I'm just really grateful that we get to support her in her journey and her vision.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Like you said, you have the backbone of an excellent team behind you so that you can be that visionary, the person who looks to the future and leads. That is the true goal of an entrepreneur, is to be in that position where you have people surrounding you that can help uplift you and help make those dreams become reality, because entrepreneurs are dreamers, and that's what I love so much about them. So I couldn't have asked for a better way to wrap up today's episode. We are super happy to be here again, and we will look forward to seeing everybody next week. Gabe, thank you for your time, and I hope everybody has an excellent day.
Thanks, everyone.